Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. This revival and revision, revival stands for the Islamic community here in America, mainly the African American community. Because before we was dealing with Iqamatul Deen, establishing the Deen. But the Deen has been established in America. But we went through this long period of being diverted from our mission. And what was our goal? Imam Muhammad set a goal in 1976 in Philadelphia, remake the world. Everybody kind of maybe forgot that, but that was a wonderful idea about remake the world. So revival is for focus at the African American community, mainly like our flyer was, this latest flyer, revival. And revision is for the immigrant community. That they need some redirection. I'll just go on and what we want to do with the immigrant community is talk about them becoming, they want to become good Americans. Okay, our goal is to try to shape their ideas about America, the time they're living in, and the possibilities, the opportunities that they have. Remember now, they have a golden opportunity. Those of us who are here can look at this period and we can see a 50-year passage of time, and we can see this as a neo-civil liberties, civil rights period. It's all elements of that. The only thing is this time is bigger and broader. Of course, in those days, it was African Americans wanted civil rights, equal rights. It was a few Chicanos, you know, they had brown berets and other things, especially in California. They were liberation orientated. They had a few demonstrations in LA and other places. But this time is like big time. All of the oppression going along on the Mexican border. All the problems that exist in the world today, the people that's hollering the loudest are the ones that created the problems. In Latin America, in Honduras, in Salvador, all of those places, those places have become, some places in Central America, you can almost find, sometimes they find cocaine floating on the, it's so much, they're the new transport. See, first they blow straight into America on all the planes and everything. Sometimes they crash land a plane. Them old DC-6s and all of that. In Arkansas, they were just, but then America got hot for them coming straight in. So at that time, then they brought them, they sent it through Mexico. That's how the Mexican cartels got so big, because the Colombian cartels brought it to Mexico. They sold it to them, and then they brought it into America. So that's how the Zetas, that's how all of them got big. Okay, so then Mexico got hot. Mexico have, I hear something like 35,000 killings or something like that. It's all is ain't just okay. So then Central America, all that Guatemala, Salvador, all those places, Honduras, are now trafficking spots. The drug cartels get the local drug cartels, those guys, they get big. They get guns, they get money, and they cause trouble for the people. They scare the people to death. So then the people in all those countries have to come up to the United States. It's like Europe. Europe stole all of the money, all the resources from Africa and the Middle East. So the Africans follow, they say follow the money, right? So all they do when they run to Europe, they follow the money because they ain't got no money at home. The West don't want them to keep no resources. Africa is still the world's resource house. Same thing with South America. So the U.S., look what they did in Brazil. They got a new election. The president is in jail. He can't write no letters to nobody. I heard he's in solitary confinement, the old president, Lula. Then the woman president is kicked out, and they might as well have Donald Trump and as the president. And in every election they've had down there, that's why they had to get rid of what's the name at the Ecuadorian embassy, because the new president was, the old one was one of the brothers. The new one, he said, hey, y'all gonna hook me up with that loan and I'll give you this guy Assange. Yeah. It's all regular stuff. The point is, we're in that period of global transition. But this is a period of the greatest opportunity. It's greater than the Civil Rights era, because that was black people. It's greater even than the decolonization area or period. Because here in America, we got every immigrant family, not only Latinos, which are the bulk. The Latinos passed us up as a big minority 20 years ago. Yeah, the 2000 census, it was 39 million apiece, with them having the higher. That's what they were saying. Of course, they lied. Because all the Latinos, I didn't do a personal count, but it reminded me of the Negro count that I did back in the 80s when I drove down on I-10 all the way across the U.S., all down in Alabama and Georgia and all that, giving lectures. And I drove up the East Coast. And whenever I could, I would go on Route 1. You know, Route 1 is just like 95. It goes from Maine up there all the way down to Florida. Route 1. But it's the old Route 1. It's the old 95 where they used to, wasn't big population, they had huge gaps in between. Now it's all filled in by cities. Just like 95 and 40 and all of them, when they opened up 30 and 40 years ago, it wasn't nothing. Maybe at the one exit it would be a little hotel there, but when you travel across the country now, at every exit there's a little city. Okay. So, when I came across the country, I realized something. When I got to, D.C. did it. Because D.C. in those days was solid black. I said, good God Almighty. then the only thing I know about Delaware was it signed the Declaration of Independence and stuff like that. I think it fought on the side of the South or something during the Civil War. But I didn't know it was full of Negroes. In fact, Brother Jamal, one of the last poets, told me he moved to Delaware. I was thinking, man, he's really moved out in suburbia. Delaware. Man, I didn't know, you know Delaware. I said, good God Almighty. Now, imagine me. I drive on Route 1 and 13, and then I go, one of them hits Germantown Avenue in Philadelphia, and then I go through New York, and then I go up there in Connecticut. The only thing I heard of Connecticut, Yankee and King Arthur's Court. I never knew. I looked at the Negroes and the Puerto Ricans. What I'm saying is, they said it was 22 million Negroes then. I said, I done seen 22 million Negroes myself. Not coming down from Canada. I went all the way up to Canada, came back, and then I went across, and I zooped up Detroit, Chicago. I said, good God Almighty. You can imagine the division then. Now, this time, in the 2000 census, they said that blacks and Latinos was equal. Well, they done doubled up since then, and we haven't. You can see all around it. There ain't no, remember they used to have them little clunkers they would push? Now they got big four-wheel drive, they got Rexall, they got everything. Negro, in fact, they got maybe a little more. If it comes from work, they got it. If it comes from these offices, because the Negroes is working in the offices.
That's right.
Okay. So anyway, we're living in an excellent time. And what we got to sell to the immigrant community is America needs you. Yes. We have to give a social message to the Quran, not vice versa. You know, in other words, the social language has to be sifted through the Quran. So the social message that's sifted through the Quran would answer literally all the problems that they have. America needs you. They have opiates. To them, oh, that's white folks. We'll help them. Yeah. So what it is we have to run all that message. Broken families. Islam pushes families. No problem. Right? So the marriage thing, the family thing, the clean living thing, all that's Islam. Generally, you're not going to get America telling them, you're telling the Americans. One reason we pulled back on them flyers and all of that, because we're showing the picture of a man beat over the head and blood everywhere, right? And we're telling the immigrants community, if you get involved in the movement, that's what you're going to get. Remember? Mm-hmm. Remember first, when we first put them out, I said, let's put out a flyer called help. Then I said, hold it. Mm-hmm. Then I said, the boxes, hold it. Because that's when I start talking about subconscious competency. That's my subconscious telling me they're not going to buy that. They're not going to buy it. It's simple as that. Because you telling a house full of scaredy people that if you stand up for the truth, if you support the truth, you're already hiding. Now, so we give them flyer. All of them deal with Masjid al-Islam rated, poor Imam. They say if that nigga get beat upside the head, what they gonna do to us? Right? So imagine that's what the subconscious is doing. That's why it ain't creative avoidance or nothing. I just said hold it up on that. Why? Look at what we're selling. Think about it. And it was systematic. It wasn't all in one day. It was first we said, we're not going to go out here with boxes. Because no matter what you say, we're going to look like beggars. The niggas is begging. Because niggas, everybody they sent everywhere were beggars to cause trouble for the community. Right? That's why downtown, we might have a box down on the end, so drop something in there if you like. And we'll have CDs. We'll do the CD for them maybe tomorrow or something. I mean the DVD. That's all we'll have. All the literature, because this thing moves progressively. First I was gonna pull back on one thing and add another, and then up until a minute ago, when we talked about that dawah down there, I had another pattern what we was gonna use for down there. But what the hell? Excuse me, what the heck? So anyway, let me get back to, here's the basic line for the immigrant community. America needs you. This is your old golden opportunity. You want to be an American? They're taking the Americans' free speech. They've already, well, no, they're not taking anything. They have